physios, I welcome you all to our channel Physiotherapy. Today our topic is assisted exercise, which is a part of active movement, that is voluntary movement. Already we have covered free exercise in our previous two videos, and in today's lecture we will study about the assisted exercise. So my name is Vijay Kumar and let's get started. What is assisted exercise? In simple words we can say whenever there is a reduction in muscular activity, some assistance is required to produce movement called the assisted exercise. Okay, so whenever the force exerted on one of the body lever by muscular action is insufficient, the force produced by the muscle is insufficient for the production or the control of movement, an external force is required to augment it, called the assisted exercise. Okay, for example, I can do elbow flexion up to this level but not beyond this level, so some assistance is required, called the assisted exercise. And now what are the types of assisted exercise? Types of assisted exercise, it can be active or passive assistance. Okay, in active assistance the patient himself assists. Okay, I cannot do elbow flexion, so by my other hand I can do the assistance. Okay, I can give assistance to this movement. Similarly, in prone position, if I cannot do knee flexion of my left leg, my right leg can help to do the knee flexion. Okay, so here the assistance is by the patient's own body, which is called active assistance. And in passive it can be manual, that is from the therapist. I can give assistance to any other patient to do the movement, okay, which is manual. And it can also be mechanical, which can be by the suspension therapy, spring, or the use of pulley. Okay, so these are the types of assisted exercise. This is very simple topic. Okay, type of assisted exercise: active by the patient itself, passive it can be manual, that is by the therapist, and mechanical it is by the device such as suspension therapy, springs, and pulleys. They are used to augment the movement at a particular joint. Okay, then what is the principle of giving assistance? This is very important. That what is the principle which you need to keep in mind during giving any kind of assistance? The external force must be applied to the lever in same direction of muscle action. Elbow flexion, action of the elbow flexor is in this direction. Yes, the action of assistance should also be in the same direction. Okay, only then it will be able to give assistance. Now, if direction is opposite, then how we can say that it is an assisted? Then it will become resisted. I am trying to do elbow flexion, and if the external force is downward, it will definitely resist. So direction should be same as that of the muscle action. Next, but not at the same point. That is, we can gain mechanical advantage by increasing lever. Now you can see that this is the elbow flexor muscle and this is inserting at this point. It is not necessary to give assistance at this point. We can give assistance at a distal part to gain this mechanical advantage. Okay, the elbow flexors, that is bicep brachii, is very close to elbow joint, and then brachioidalis is at the radius, and it is up to this level only. But we are not supposed to give assistance only at the point of, we can say at the point of muscle origin or insertion. You need to, if you can gain any kind of mechanical advantage, we need to gain it so that a good assistance is given. For example, it is explained by this diagram that if this arrow, that is the vector, represent the total force which is required to do this elbow flexion, now only this small part is given by muscle. This is the force by muscle action. Then now I can also do the assistance at this point, but I am not doing. Why? Because I want to gain the mechanical advantage. Yes, so this arrow give the force by assistance, and yes, this is the additional leverage. See, this is the additional leverage which is gained and which give us a mechanical advantage. So you can see this initial force is by the force of muscle action, and second is by assistance, and second is by the additional mechanical leverage which give a mechanical advantage. Okay, so this is about the principle of assistance. Simply you can understand it in two words. The direction should be same as that of muscle action. This is first point. And second, if you can gain mechanical advantage, then you can gain it. That is, the force should not be at the same point as of muscle. Muscle is pulling from this point, okay? So it is not necessary to give it here. We can give the assistance at distal part to get the mechanical advantage by increasing the length of leverage. Okay, so this is about the principle of assistance, which is frequently asked in Viva. Okay, so now we are moving toward the principle of assisted exercise. First is range. Usually during the assisted exercise, the assistance is more at initial part of range and at the end part of range. In middle part, the patient is usually able to perform the motion. So if anybody asks you that what is the variation of the assistance in range, you will say that initially and in the end range we give more assistance, because mostly the patient feel difficulty in the initial range and in the end range. Then command, yes, command is very important. We need to give command to stimulate the patient so that he or she can do the contraction. We need to say that go, you need to do the contraction. Yes, I am giving assistance like this. Okay, we are supposed to give a lot of command to stimulate the patient. Then concentration, the patient must have a full and proper concentration over the movement. If the patient is not doing this movement by its own, that is, there is a lack of concentration, then it will become a passive movement. Simply you are doing elbow flexion. So the patient need to concentrate and focus that he or she has to do the movement with some assistance of therapist. Then speed, yes, speed should be, we can say, fairly slow, because if the assistance is fast, it will become again a passive movement. Speed should be according to the, we can say, patient, that patient is doing slowly and then it stop, then you can give slightly a assistance to increase the speed and to give assistance by increasing the mechanical advantage and giving some external force. Then repetition, yes, a lot of repetition is required for the assisted exercise. Okay, so this is about the assisted exercise, in which we studied about what is assisted exercise, types of assisted exercise which can be active and passive. Okay, and passive can also be manual and mechanical. Then principle of giving assistance, again it is very important. Then principle, range, initial and end range is important. Command, yes, command is very important, that we need to give command so as to stimulate the patient. And concentration, it is very important, or it will become a passive movement. Then speed, it should be such that it do not become a passive movement. And repetition, large number of repetition is required so that the patient can become able to do the movement by its own without any assistance. Okay, why? Because once the patient do movement with full concentration and he gets stimulated by our commands, the patient will gain full range of motion. Okay, so now we will study about the techniques and effect and uses of assisted exercises. So now we will study about the technique of application of assisted exercise, along with its some effect and uses. First is starting position. The starting position must be comfortable so that the patient is in fully relaxed position to do the movement. Okay, so pattern of movement, the pattern of movement should be same as that of the anatomical movement occurring at joint. For example, elbow flexion, for example, this side is weak. Okay, so you can teach the patient that you need to do the movement like this. I am teaching it by passive movement, or you can teach the pattern of movement by the active movement of contralateral extremity. Okay, fixation, bone of origin must be fixed so that there is a proper muscle action of that muscle and there occur a reinforcement. Reinforcement means energy flow from larger muscle group to smaller muscle group. For example, the muscle bicep brachii originate from coracoid process along with the supraglenoid tubercle. Here the shoulder must be stabilized and scapula is also stabilized so that there is a proper action and reinforcement can occur from bicep brachii to other weak muscle. Okay, this muscle can further reinforce action of other muscles. Okay, support must be given throughout, but assistance is only given in that range where the patient is unable to do movement. Okay, so assistance is given throughout the range. So support is given throughout the range, but assistance only in that part where patient is not able to complete the range. Okay, usually in the initial and the terminal part of range. Antagonistic muscle, yes, every effort must be done to make the antagonistic muscle relax. Okay, if the antagonistic muscle is relaxed, how can the movement occur? Okay, for example, I am trying to do elbow flexion, but my tricep muscle is we can say tight. Okay, so there must be proper exercises and proper effort to reduce this tightness so that there is not any kind of residual tone or tightness in the antagonistic muscle, so that the movement can occur efficiently. Okay, then traction, yes, initially slight amount of traction can be given, which is used to stretch the related or the structures which are present around the joint. Also it can stimulate the stretch reflex, that is, or the myotactic reflex. Once traction is given, the structures are stretched and a good contraction is seen. Okay, then assisting force, it is same that it must be in the same direction and not always at the same point, that is we can gain mechanical advantage. Then character of movement, that is range and speed. Range should be according to the patient condition. We can give assistance in different part of range. And speed is also we can say fairly slow or rhythmical as it in the voluntary movement. Okay, the speed in which I am performing my voluntary movement, the speed is like that only. Why? Because if we give a lot of assistance, the speed will increase, and you can see if I am giving a lot of assistance, the movement is going toward passive movement, which we do not want. Also you need to remind one more point, that speed also depend upon the speed of the contraction of muscle also depend upon its architecture. You can see that fusiform muscle contract rapidly while multipinate contract slowly. This bicep brachii muscle is fusiform, it can contract rapidly, but this deltoid is a multipinate muscle which contract slowly. Okay, then repetition, a large number of repetition is required for the better effect to increase the mobility of joint. Then cooperation of patient is also required. There must be a full concentration of patient so that the movement is assisted movement, not a passive movement. Then effect and uses, it is again very simple. The memory pattern of coordinated movement is stimulated. We are giving a lot of repetition of assisted movement. Okay, the memory pattern is registered. So the memory pattern of the coordinated movement is stimulated by the correct performance of movement. So frequent assistance exercise with gradually reduced assistance is used. See, initially we can give assistance at various parts. For example, I have given some assistance in initial range, then at middle range, then at terminal range. But after some time, the patient will gain some amount of strength. Okay, the memory pattern will be registered in the brain. Okay, so we will gradually reduce the assistance. Okay, so this is in this point. Then confidence in the ability to move is established. Again, a simple point. Then range of effective joint movement can be increased by assisted exercise. Then assisting force is used only complementary in weak muscle. Also the muscle gain strength and hypertrophy. Simply you can write that the muscle will gain some amount of strength and hypertrophy so that the movement can be occur voluntarily without any kind of assistance. And last point is, it can also help to break the adhesion which are formed around the joint. Okay, so this is whole about the assisted exercise, and here we are finishing the topic by studying about technique and effect and uses of assisted exercise. Okay, so till then you keep on studying. Thank you to one and all.